It's the show that everyone has been talking about, and let's be honest, was there a better way to see in the new year than by watching the Harry Potter 20th anniversary return to Hogwarts? Hey guys, it's Emily from It's Gone Viral, and today we're going to be looking at the 10 biggest takeaways from HBO's Harry Potter reunion special. We laughed, we cried, and we saw most of our wizarding heroes reunite for the first time in years. Now, if you're one of the unlucky muggles who hasn't seen it yet, this video may spoil it for you, so please consider this your official spoiler warning. Once you have seen the reunion though, make sure you check out this video and let us know which moments you loved in the comments below. But let's get right into it and share with you our biggest takeaways from the reunion. Starting off at number 10, we have the man whose vision made the Harry Potter franchise as successful as it is, Chris Columbus. Columbus directed both The Philosopher's Stone and The Chamber of Secrets before leaving the franchise and never directed another Potter movie again. In a touching and emotional chat with Daniel Radcliffe, Columbus stated that he always felt guilty about leaving the series and not carrying on the project with the child actors. Radcliffe himself told Columbus, "I do not know of another human being who could have started the series in the way you did." And if you're wondering why Columbus left the franchise, the director admitted fairly recently that he was both emotionally and physically exhausted, and also stated that not seeing his children enough played a part in his decision. Anyone who's watched the reunion will have seen the amount of love and respect that Columbus had from all the cast, especially the young actors, and how he managed to kick the Harry Potter movies off in an astonishing way. It's hard to imagine anyone other than Jason Isaacs playing the devilish role of Lucius Malfoy. But amazingly, the actor who was known for playing the slimy villain was first considered to play the charming and famous but ultimately useless Gilderoy Lockhart. Luckily, director Chris Columbus asked him to read for another part, and they found their Lucius Malfoy. In the reunion special, Isaac stated that he felt his reluctance to play the role is actually what got him the part. Isaac said, "I'm convinced I ended up playing Lucius because I didn't want to. I read through gritted teeth, I was deeply bitter. And of course, that was exactly what was necessary. And they asked me to play Lucius, and thank God they did." Thank God indeed, and Chris Columbus. Another one of our favourite takeaways was seeing Gary Oldman and Daniel Radcliffe's friendship closely mirror the relationship between Sirius and Harry in the books. Radcliffe himself stated that Oldman was the one actor he was starstruck by and insisted on Emma Watson playing it cool when Oldman was on set, despite not always taking his own advice. Oldman is one of Radcliffe's acting heroes, and as a result of playing opposite him, the two became very close, with Oldman even describing his own paternal feelings towards Daniel. And Potter fans loved witnessing the close relationship the pair have during the reunion. And another thing that we found very interesting about Oldman's performance as Sirius Black was the revelation that both Gary Oldman and Helena Bonham Carter actually filmed a much longer fight scene than the one we see in the Order of the Phoenix. The pair of them discussed the moment when Sirius is killed by Bellatrix in the Department of Mysteries, and they shocked fans as they both recalled spending a couple of days filming a longer dueling sequence, only for it to be reduced to a much quicker sequence in the final cut of the movie. Obviously, Sirius's death is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire film franchise, and it does play out perfectly on screen. But the idea of seeing Sirius and Bellatrix battling it out is certainly something that fans would have loved to have seen. As any Potter fan will tell you, Harry and Bellatrix Lestrange loathe each other, but the relationship between Daniel Radcliffe and Helena Bonham Carter couldn't have been more different to that of their characters, and as such has become one of the most talked about moments from the reunion. Fans love the jokey relationship between Radcliffe and Bonham Carter, with the pair of them laughing and bantering with each other throughout the whole of their interview. Which ended with Helena Bonham Carter reading out what can only be described as a relatively creepy message from Daniel Radcliffe after they rapped on the Order of the Phoenix. Radcliffe cringed as he read out a message he wrote to Bonham Carter, saying, I do love you, and I just wish I'd been born 10 years earlier. I might have been within a chance. Lots of love and thanks for being cool. Who knew that those two had such a nice relationship? And speaking of cringy, awkward and embarrassing love letters and experiences, those of you who have seen the reunion will know that the Goblet of Fire holds a place in many of the cast's hearts, because they were all crushing on each other. Whilst talking about the tonal shift of the fourth movie, and with the cast all experiencing their own hormonal changes, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Bonnie Wright and Matthew Lewis all spoke about how the Goblet of Fire really mirrored the experiences of the characters in the books. I guess it makes sense. These kids all grew up together and were experiencing their formative and difficult teenage years in a very close-knitted environment. So it's only fair to assume that the cast got to know each other more and got even closer during the filming of the Goblet of Fire. Radcliffe himself even described filming the fourth movie as peak hormone for himself. We'll never be able to see that movie in the same light again. And on a similar note, one of the most striking moments of the reunion was the confession of love between Emma Watson and Tom Felton. Whilst the rest of the cast were talking about their own experiences on the Goblet of Fire, Watson and Felton discussed their own much-rumoured relationship. Watson admitted that she was always excited to see Tom's number on the call sheet and developed a crush on him after they were asked to hand in a homework assignment that required them to draw what they thought God looked like. Watson recalled the moment she fell in love with Felton when he handed in his picture of a girl riding a skateboard with a backwards cap. Yep, that'll do it, Tom. Felton himself admitted that he was aware that Emma had a crush on him, but due to him being 3 years older than her, he always saw her as more of a little sister. Felton said, "I've always had a soft spot for her, and that continues to the day." And hearing the two of them express their love for each other is definitely one of the biggest talking points of the reunion. As we all know, a surprising amount of actors who starred in the Harry Potter films are sadly no longer with us. And this was discussed in a candid chat between Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, as they spoke about their shock of the passings of some of the familiar faces they grew up with on the set of the films. The likes of Richard Harris, Alan Rickman, Richard Griffiths, John Hurt and Helen McCrory, to name just a few, were all remembered in the reunion show, and it was a beautiful reminder of their extraordinary performances in Harry Potter. Tom Felton broke down in tears when talking about Helen McCrory, who of course played his mother Narcissa Malfoy in the series. And Daniel Radcliffe spoke about the passing of Richard Griffiths, who played Uncle Vernon, as the death that had affected him the most. And as sad as it is that all of these amazing actors have passed, we, the fans, will always have their incredible performances to remember them by. And because of them, the magic of Harry Potter will continue to live on. A truly shocking revelation from the reunion was discovering that Emma Watson had seriously considered quitting the franchise after completing the first 4 films. Speaking about her feelings at the time, Watson said that she felt that she was struggling with her own fame, saying that she felt lonely and scared. Thankfully, she decided to stay on in the role of Hermione Granger, and surprisingly, she wasn't the only cast member who had contemplated what it would have been like to have stopped working on the movies. Rupert Grint also admitted that he was beginning to struggle with the sheer size of the Harry Potter franchise at such a young age, but he didn't realise Watson was feeling the same. Emma Watson also said that the fans were instrumental in her deciding to carry on in the role, saying, "No one had to convince me to see it through. The fans genuinely wanted you to succeed, and we all genuinely have each other's backs. How great is that?" And finally, we have to talk about Alan Rickman. Everyone loves Rickman's performance as Severus Snape, the ultimate anti-hero of the Harry Potter series. But seeing as the first 3 books had already been released by the time the Philosopher's Stone hit cinemas, how much did Rickman know about Snape's motives? As it turns out, quite a lot. In the reunion, Daniel Radcliffe spoke to Gary Oldman about Alan Rickman being the only person who knew what lay ahead for Snape, which helped Rickman decide on how to play the character. After hearing what the eventual plan for Snape was, Rickman was sworn to secrecy by J.K. Rowling and is rumoured to have not even spoken about it with the various directors working on the movies. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Rickman's performance as Snape is beautifully in line with the character arc in the books, and why he will always have a place in Harry Potter fans' hearts. So there you have it, guys. Those were our 10 biggest takeaways from the Harry Potter reunion special. What were your favourite moments from the show? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.